Hi Leo, welcome to your first half of January 2017 general tarot reading. It's Raina, and before I begin, I just wanted to clarify something. I've been saying this in all of my readings, that my intention for readings, whether it be general or private, is to provide symbols, signs, for you to use along with your own guidance and how it applies to your life, not as a substitute for your own guidance, your own intuition, your own intellect, your own common sense. It just has come up recently, and I do get, like in private readings, people saying, will this person, do they love me? Will they come back? And I'm not a mind reader. And really, to me, that premise is off, because as soon as you are like basing everything on what another person thinks or does, you have totally given away your power. And that's just the bottom line. And in addition to that, to approach life like it's predetermined is also giving away your power. Because then what's the point? What's the point of even caring if it's already set in stone? Some people think, well, it's important to care about it because then I know if I'm going to suffer or if I'm going to have or be happy. But no, I don't think it works that way. I think that you have to take inspired action in your life. And it's up to you. Okay. And I am going to be pulling a card from the Keepers of the Light Oracle deck, which is so nice. All right. I'm pulling up that guy. I've been pulling up that one. Oh boy. I was just saying in another reading that I always associate knights with Aries, and it doesn't matter like what, if it's a Knight of Swords, a Knight of Wands. So for what that's worth, Aries is another fire sign, and this is kind of the centerpiece of the reading is the Knight of Swords. This could be a person. These readings can be, can be either for your love life or your business. In terms of professions, this can be the legal profession, where people have to kind of think on their feet. But I could even see like a politician, or what else? Because it's kind of like a crusader. So maybe it could just be their personality, where they're very outspoken and they're very passionate about their beliefs. But there's, they can stir up people's lives. And just like with the Knight of Wands, it's like in and out. Come in, stir everything up, and then leave. So, and actually the Knight of Wands is associated with Sagittarius specifically. So there you go. That's another fire sign. Now, some of you in personal relationships may have met or come in contact with somebody recently from your past. And we do have the Mercury retrograde happening, and that can happen during that, even if it hits another house, where you connect, nowadays with the internet, that is especially common. But that can be the time when it happens. And so maybe for some people, because we do have the Death card, it could be that has made your current relationship, whether it's a marriage or anything like somebody that you're with right now, that is kind of like the death knell. That's like the final straw. Because that person reminded you of the fact that you were not happy. Maybe it was all innocent, and then it just, quickly escalated. Where maybe you just were reaching out to somebody, or maybe it was happenstance. Maybe you were talking to just a friend, and then they said, oh, you remember this person, and you guys were a big item in freshman year, and then it just takes off from there. The Knight of Swords can indicate that maybe even you, that could be you, maybe you are being very honest for the first time in your relationship, and you let that person have it, that person that you've been with, and you tell them all of these grievances. Maybe you've kind of saved up a whole bunch of them, and you finally let it loose because you want to justify why you don't want to be in the relationship anymore. If this is any kind of a situation involving professional endeavors, this could be a similar theme where something from that you've always wanted to do, and it could be from when you were like 8 years old, is nudging you that, as you get older, I really, okay, that's great, but I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this. And the death card is pointing to that transition of going from one to the other, from going from one type of job to another. And I don't even like to use the word job, of really coming into what you came here to do. Because if it happened when you were a child, there's a good chance that it was something that you knew about. It's like you can't, an 8-year-old doesn't have the time to be indoctrinated, although who knows? I mean, these days, maybe some parents are trying to get their kids into a certain profession when they're 5 years old. I don't know. But typically, at least in the past, if a child had a certain inclination when they're young, it probably is along the lines of what they came here to do. And so if you're ever confused about your purpose, just think about when you're a child and the things that, really, you were passionate about. Yeah, some people want to be fairy princesses, so I'm not going to say you're going to become a fairy princess, but, other than that, okay? And so the higher message, and this is really cool, is a star card. So it's like about, your faith is restored. Again, in private relationships, this can be a situation where a person from the past, maybe you always were longing for that person and you're getting back together. Now, here's what I just thought, which is kind of interesting. The star card is connected to Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign. Air signs are represented by swords. Maybe these two cards are in tandem. It's not somebody else. Maybe that is the person from your past. Aquarius is the opposite sign of Leo. So you have that magnetic pull to Aquarians. And but whatever's happening, you feel like there is hope after all. And whenever I see the star card, it's such a beautiful card. But to me, sometimes there's almost like pain attached to it because before, you had that hope restored, you didn't have hope. You didn't feel like it was ever going to get better. It's like having your dreams come true, I suppose you could say. And maybe it's even like a cosmic situation where it's nothing you do physically that makes it happen. It's just kind of like this so-called, piece of luck. And I put that in parentheses because luck implies randomness. And I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in randomness. And some kind of a serendipitous event that, has all of these pieces coming together all of a sudden. And it could be even that somebody from the beyond, the great beyond, maybe a relative who has passed over, is pulling some strings. Maybe there is some grace involved from the other side. Angels. Your spirit guides, whatever you want to talk about or consider. What crosses you is the Nine of Cups. So this is about, even in the upright position, there's a sense of smugness. It's the yes fulfillment, or the wish fulfillment, the yes card, okay? In that position of the challenge, it could be that something is delayed. We have the Mercury retrograde. Maybe you know that everything is going to be good, but there could be some kind of hold up. So let's say you reconnect with somebody, and both of you know that you've been waiting for each other for years and years, and now you're both, let's say you're both professing your love for one another, and it's a soulmate type of connection. The Six of Cups can be soulmate material. Okay, now one or both of you are still married. Okay, so that's a holdup. So there are like flies in the ointment, but that doesn't mean, when you have a really positive card like the Nine of Cups and it's kind of a challenge position, it's not really a challenge as it would be for other cards. It's just kind of like a minor annoyance, or just something that keeps you from totally being able to do something. But it's not that big of a deal, ultimately. And also, there could be a water sign person who, I was even thinking like the death card, it could be a Scorpio. And, Leos and Scorpios, they're fixed signs, but they get together. So watch out for that. Oops. My cord is getting... Watch out for that, because Scorpio, that can be a very... that can be a very sticky wicket with Scorpios. Trying to get away from Scorpios. So if that's the case, proceed very cautiously. Hopefully a Scorpio person isn't watching this. Advice is the Tower card. The Tower card as advice isn't really... I think that, I would say more than anything, prepare for something to kind of... prepare for surprises, okay? And an example of this is full moons. So I'm trying to think right now, what is the full moon? Okay, here you go. Very, very much in alignment with what I'm saying here. The full moon is going to be in Cancer on January 12th. So this is going to be your 12th house. The 12th house, one of the things about the 12th house is the house of secrets, okay? So you get that full moon in there, it shines a light on a secret. So you might find out something. And it may be shocking. It's possible that it will, relate to a person. If you're still with another person, it could be a shock that they experience, okay? Because if you're in love with somebody who's taken, their spouse or your spouse, there may be something they find out. Who knows? But here's the other thing about this. It clears the air, it can, totally, it's like, having a building get totally, dynamited. And then you have the rubble, but then you're left with the ability to rebuild something much better than this, decrepit old building. The outcome is the Knight of Wands. I believe this is you, actually. Unless the person that you're in love with is actually a Sagittarian, then that might be that person. and saying that you do end up with that person. But because the wands relate to fire, I think this is you, and you're very enthusiastic, and you're having, this is like even somebody having an affair, but I shouldn't say an affair, because then it sounds like I'm saying, yeah, just cheat on your spouse. But maybe this is after, if you're not in a situation where you're married, maybe the other person is, both of you may be free, and that may be why you're getting together. There may be other reasons that are keeping you apart, but I feel like you're going to be it's almost like you're coming back to life, in a sense. If you've been feeling for a while, it's like that star card is hope restored. But that means that at some point you were feeling, maybe in the doldrums, and that you didn't have anything going on that was anything to look forward to in life. And now you're feeling a real sense of happiness, a sense of having your dreams fulfilled. This challenge position is also asking you not to be too indulgent, the Nine of Cups in reverse. But in terms of the night energy, I'm trying to look up here in Anthony Lewis, Plain and Simple, to see if there's any additional keywords that I'm missing out on here, because I think this is a real... Yeah, I think I kind of touched on it. Enthusiasm, but it also indicates change. So that can be... One of the words he uses is sexual adventures, and that was kind of what I was saying when I said an affair. That's what I meant. But here's something. Your confidence may come back, your mojo. As a Leo, you're supposed to be confident, but you may not feel that way because of, things that have happened. A past relationship that was not a good one. So, so that looks very good for you, actually. And then, is this going to happen all in the next 2 weeks? Who knows? But at least some of those themes may resonate with you, Leo. And then I'm going to pick this Oracle card, and here is the back of it. Keepers of the Light. Radha. Oh my gosh, Soul Flame. What did I say? But I don't know if this is soulmate. Rediscover a lost part of yourself. Experience relationship harmony and healing. Okay, I'm going to read from the book because I want to gain some additional words about this. Loving union, connection, and relationship harmony are key at this time. It's important to remember, though, that relationships won't make you whole. Only your own love can do that. You now have opportunities to find lost parts of yourself, maybe sensual aspects, or the capacity to cherish yourself. The relationships around you will then begin to reflect the love you have for yourself. Increased romance, love, and opportunities to express divine harmony through love are all becoming apparent in your life. You deserve divine love. And that, I would associate the Six of Cups with divine love. That's why I said, it's like kind of like a purity in it. Through love, you deserve divine love, and Radha, with her Shakti presence, is here to awaken this loving connection within you now. Awesome. Okay. So, Leo, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great, a happy new year and a great first half of January. Bye.